you very much. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, sisters. Good evening, Black powerful women. My name is Yiwola Akinfolarin, and I'm speaking to you from out of Calgary tonight. It's another webinar Wednesday, and tonight, hopefully, you'll be able to take some wisdom home. I'm not going to talk to you about anything that you haven't heard. There's no magic we're going to do tonight. You've probably heard everything I'm going to talk about, but I just want to leave you with a fresh voice that will probably direct you better in whatever stage you're at, whether you're still at concept stage or you're struggling with your business. Maybe you're already even doing well. I just want to leave you with a fresh voice of motivation when it comes to retailing and retail business. So let me take this opportunity to thank the conveners and the leadership of our Black Women Entrepreneurs Group. I want to say very, very big thank you to you guys for giving me this platform to talk to Black women out here in Alberta. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. So we can get started. Okay, can you please enable screen sharing? Okay, good. Let's see. All right. Okay, I hope that everybody can see my screen well. Can we all see my screen? Yes? You can give me a thumbs up or whatever, just so I know that everybody's good. Okay, so I'm going to believe that we're all good. All right, so good evening one more time.
We can see it.
You can see it? Great.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Webinar Wednesday, and tonight we're going to be talking about how to achieve success in the retail industry. Like I said, there's nothing I'm going to talk about tonight that is going to sound like magic. You've probably heard it all. We're just trying to motivate ourselves, especially because we're Black women in a white man's land. We're so far away from home. So we're just iron sharpeneth iron. Right? So we're just trying to share wisdom and see how we can better support ourselves so we can forge ahead and be successful in all of our business endeavors out here. All right, let's get going. Tonight, this is what our agenda is going to look like. It's going to follow this outline. I'm going to do the land acknowledgement. Then we'll move to introduction. I will talk about the primary goals of tonight's webinar. We'll talk about retailing and retail business. We'll look at what a selling point looks like for a retailer. We'll talk about finding your first client and going from your first client to the next and the next. We will look at client identification strategies. We'll talk also about maintaining growth, and I'll leave you with a charge. All right, so let's do a land acknowledgement. I love the Native people of Canada, and I respect them. And funny thing, today we're celebrating Truth and Reconciliation, isn't it? So let's take it away. In the spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge that we live, work, and play on the traditional territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy. That's the Siksika, Kainai, Piikani, the Tsuut'ina, the Yakse Nakota Nations, the Métis Nation, Region 3, and all people who make their homes in the Treaty 7 region of Southern Alberta. I make this acknowledgement as an act of reconciliation and gratitude to those whose territory we reside on and are visiting. All right, so we're free to roll. Okay, introduction. Let me just say a few things about myself. Full name, Yiwola Akinfolarin. People call me Yiwola for short. I'm a Black, obviously Black, proud Nigerian Canadian entrepreneur, operating, existing, living here in Calgary, Alberta. I wear many hats, but let me first of all start off with the hats that I wear as an entrepreneur. I'm, by God's grace, the CEO of Ajoke African Stores, Ajoke Villas. I'm a partner I'm a partner with Alliance Travel and Logistics from out of Nigeria, Alliance Real Estate Development from out of Nigeria. I'm also a salesperson for Powson Constructions and Carina Limited here in Calgary. I said I wear many hats. I'm a family counselor here in Calgary. I'm an employment specialist. I am a mother. I'm a wife, and so on. But more than anything, I'm a lover of Christ. All right. So let's talk about the primary goals of tonight's webinar. We want to talk retail business. What does it mean, right? What is the difference between retailing and wholesaling? We want to talk about going from concept to reality. We want to talk about sustaining a retail business. We want to talk about success, right? And then, of course, the end goal is to make profit, isn't it? We want to make money. Before we start off with all of these topics, there's something that really burns on my heart that I always throw out there when I'm talking to Black people. And that's the fact that we're, like I said, we're very far away from home. We need to build an economy. We need to model the Jewish people and the Indians, right? We need each other to stand and to be successful out here. And I like to use the word intentional. We have to decide. I'm hoping that after tonight, you will all decide, like I have, to be intentional about seeking Black businesses for every service and product that you need on Canadian soil. Until Black people begin to support each other's businesses intentionally, we won't move to the next level, right? So I want us to change our mindset. So your daughter's birthday or your kid's birthday is coming up, you're looking for an outfit. First, source. Check, look out for a Black person, and they don't have to be from your country. A Sudanese, a Ghanaian, a Liberian, a Jamaican. Give that Black sister or brother that business first. Sometimes it's going to cost you double. I use the word intentional. Let's be intentional about building our economy. Until we build an economy, we won't see the success levels that we really want to see out here in Canada. We're very far away from home. For many of us, when we were back home in our countries, we were doing well. And there's other reasons that brought us out here. Let's hold each other by the hand and support each other's businesses. Let's be intentional about it. Support each other's businesses. Sometimes I go into an African store and I see spice that I probably would see in a real Canadian superstore, but I choose to buy it there. I'll see tomatoes and peppers that I'll see in real Canadian superstore, maybe more expensive, but I will choose to buy it there because I would rather my money goes into the hands of that Black sister than, and I'm not being racist. It's not about being racist. It's about being intentional about building and supporting Black businesses. If we adopt this lifestyle, we'll see each other grow. Right? So I wanted to put that out there. Hopefully we can change our behavior and our mindset, and then we can all grow and be successful together. Okay, so let's go. Who's a retailer? Like I said, there's no magic. There's nothing we're saying tonight that you don't already know. But we just want to distinguish what does it mean to retail? What is the difference between retailing and wholesaling? Obviously, it's the numbers, right? For a retailer, you're selling or providing products in smaller quantities. Not necessarily, a retailer is not necessarily a small business, but a retailer is selling products that go directly to the end user, directly to the consumer, as compared to a wholesaler. So what does that mean for you as a retailer? It means that you can't have the same mindset that a wholesaler has. A wholesaler can be successful at their business with only 3 clients. Those 3 clients may be driving millions in their balance sheet. As a retailer, You're constantly fine-tuning your business. You're going to bed and thinking about how do I make 5 customers 10? How do I make 10 customers 30? How does 30 become 80? You are constantly thinking about doubling your numbers in terms of your clientele base, right? That is the difference between, so you have a lot more work, really, when it comes to sales, when it comes to marketing, and all the things that go into being a successful business person. As a retailer, you've got a lot more work. Let's talk about product. What are you selling? Product and service. And I'm not just talking to people who already have existing businesses. This is for that person who's still thinking or has some sketchy ideas here and there. They haven't fleshed it up yet. They're still thinking. Or maybe you've identified barriers and those barriers have become a mountain and you're telling yourself, nah, it's not going to work out here. Just forget it. Just face this, your 9 to 5. It's not worth it. Just forget it. You can't do it. Right? First of all, let's identify, what are you selling? What's your product? What is your service? Have you identified it? Do you know if it's going to work? Right? So put pen on paper. What do I want to sell? All right. So now I know what I want to sell. Okay. What gap am I covering? I'll give you an example. When I decided to bring my clothing business, or boutique as we call it in Nigeria, to Canada, I thought about, okay, what do I want to sell? Okay, back in Nigeria, I had been selling clothes for many years. Okay, so do I want to bring that here? Yes. Is there a gap? There's stores everywhere, right? So it's not like people can't get clothes to buy. So what gap am I covering? Now, the gap that I was covering, or that I'm covering, is this. As a Black woman, you and I know that it is a hell to find a nice outfit. You could spend hours, you could drive from one location to another just trying to find a nice outfit in Canada, because for some reason, they just love dark clothing. They just love boring stuff. I don't know. They're not stylish, right? And Black people, we go all out. We love style. So it was becoming really stressful for me to shop, whether for myself or for my kid. It was just stressful, right? And every time I went into stores, the outfits and clothing that I was seeing were just like eyesores. So I was like, no. There's a huge, constantly growing migrant community. And it's not just Black people. There's Europeans coming out here who don't have Canadian fashion. They don't live by Canadian fashion. There's Mexicans, there's Americans, like there's migrants coming from all over the world who also have this need. So there's a gap, right? There's a gap. So what gap are you covering? Is there an actual gap, right? What need, if it's a service, what need are you meeting? Make sure that your product or your service can answer this question before you go to the next level. Do you even have a target market? So in my case, who was my target market? My initial target market was migrants. Migrants, because we don't think like Canadians, we don't dress like Canadians. We love color, we love style. And this was not, you couldn't find it in the stores. If you managed to find it in a store, you pay an arm and a leg for it, right? So who was your target market? And funny thing, after I had my initial target market, the target market, when the product started to come in, it extended to actual Caucasians. And then they'll come in and tell you, you know what, Canadians were very boring. We just have a couple colors, just nudes, black, gray. And it just made me laugh so much. So they actually know, right? So do you even have a target market? Who are you hoping to provide these products and services to? After you've answered that, are you in the right market? Are you in the right market? Because there's certain services that you want to provide, but when you think about it, can I even find customers where I'm at or where I am? Okay, so it's like going to, let me find a good example. It's like going to an area or a location where I'm stuck with mostly Caucasians. and then I'm trying to sell African print. Are you kidding me? It's going to take me a while to even get, because naturally they don't like all those colors and all that drama. They can compliment you. They can be like, well, that's cool, but are they going to wear it? Right? So are you in the right market for that product or that service? Who's your competition? Now, I have people ask me, oh, don't you, why, how come you don't sell boys things? Because for that particular business, I sell just female outfits and so female outfits, so women and girls, right? From age 0 all the way up. And they're like, oh, I have a son. How come you don't stock boys? Well, I don't stock boys clothing or men's clothing because my competition is steep. It's steep. And even for the women's clothing, I stock strictly Turkish exquisite outfits that you will not find on the streets. And if you find it on the streets, it's probably going to be, you won't even find it on the streets, but if you find it in a store, if you manage to find it, you're going to pay 3 times what I will offer it to you at. Right? So I said, no. My competition when it comes to male outfits is no. I will fail. Okay? So who's your competition? Do you even stand a chance? Right? And if you identify your competition, what are they doing? Now, here's the sweet part. What are they doing right that is making flourish? Identify that. Why do people love them? Why does the market love them? Okay. Now, can you also identify that thing that they're not doing right? That little tweak. Can you identify it? Because guess what? That's going to be your selling point. That little tweak that's left, that place where the reviews are looking funny, that corner where the negative reviews are coming from, that's your selling point. That's what you're going to tweak. That's what's going to make their clients come to you. So let's talk about selling points. Aha. And that's your next move. So we've talked about identifying target markets, right? Location, all of that. Now we're saying, how am I going to beat these guys at their game? What's my selling point? I've identified what they're not doing right. And guess what? Sometimes what they're not doing right might just be excellent customer service. They might have a fantastic product line, right? It might just be, oh, they're so proud, their staff is so nasty, they don't treat people right. Just that little tweak of excellent customer service or customer relationship management might be the selling point that will get you their customers, right? So let's talk selling point. After you've identified and you've built your product or your service and you know you're ready to roll, have you put together a toolbox? Your toolbox is going to consist of a couple of things. Things like your office. Am I going to have a physical location where people are going to find me? Or am I going to have a virtual office? I tell people, there's a quote that I use all the time. I say, the world is my office. And the good thing is the internet has made it so I don't have to have a physical location to get to my clientele. I mean, COVID proved humanity wrong. For a lot of businesses in 2023, you don't necessarily have to, especially if you're small, you don't have to make the expense of a physical location until the need arises. There's exceptions of some businesses and services that from the get-go, you have to have a physical location, right? But if the need is not there, if you can manage it virtually, start off virtually. Because at the end of the day, even when you have a physical location, virtual office is going to drive it. And when I say virtual office, I'm talking about your social media, website, all of that, right? All that online presence is what I'm talking about. So that's your toolbox. Another component of your toolbox will be machinery, right? What are you using? Are you Does your business need deliveries? You need a car? What are you using in terms of machinery? All of that will go into your toolbox. So you have to check those boxes. Okay, I have everything that I need to make sure that this business can kick off and can be successful, at least in the initial stage, right? Then you move to resources. What do I need to get this business started and going? Can I do a one-man business? Can I handle this from the get-go on my own? That's human resource. Or am I going to need hands? How many hands can I manage to keep my expenses at least at the barest minimum and make some profit while we grow, right? So human resource, finances. How am I financing this business? Am I using my own funds? Am I taking a loan? Am I borrowing from the bank or family and friends? Whatever that looks like. But what cash or funds is going to drive this business? Identify that. Others could be support system. And support system can come from all angles. It could be just trainings. It could be community. It could be family and friends. Whatever support system you need in terms of motivation to get you going, make sure that you itemize that and that you have it in place. Skill set. So you want to make outfits. Let's say you're a fashion designer or you love fashion. You just love it. You can style people. You can style a celebrity. That is and guess what? There's something I also say to people. That thing that comes to you easy, that thing that you can do without getting paid for it, that's where your money lies. That thing. So if you can cook from night till day and you just enjoy it, you just enjoy serving people, you just love it when they taste your food and they give you nice comments, that's where your money is sitting. If nobody told you that, take that away tonight. If you know how to crack jokes, you can crack people up. It doesn't matter how you're feeling. When you open your mouth, people just laugh. Maybe you're not doing the right business yet. Maybe you should be in comedy, right? So search yourself, do some soul searching. That thing that comes to you easily, that you can do for free, it doesn't bother you. That's where your money's at. That's where your money's sitting. All right, so let's talk skill set. So you want to be a fashion designer, and let's say you can even do the designs. You can sketch. In 10 minutes, you've sketched this beautiful dress or beautiful pair of shoes. You might need to take that extra step to learn how to do take measurements, how to cut, how to put pieces together, right? Take the pain to get some kind of certification, some kind of training, some kind of skill that's going to drive that business. Don't put the life of your business in the hands of outsiders, especially when it's just growing. Make sure that at least the barest minimum in terms of skill set, that you have it. Now, there's certain businesses that don't, especially when it comes to retail, that don't require some kind of serious certification. The skill set that you need might just be selling skills. And there's courses for in fact, free courses. Go to Coursera. You'll find free courses that will get you going. Don't tell yourself, oh, I know it all, oh, I can do it. You're far away from home. It's a different culture here. It's a different tradition. People think, even when our people come out here, our mindset changes. So get yourself some extra skills, selling skills, customer service skills. Do these things. Take the pain to pick up courses or certifications or trainings. Go for webinars like this. Improve yourself. Ensure that when you hit the ground, you're ready to roll and ready for success. All right. Okay. I love this quote by Richard Branson, and it says, business opportunities are like buses. Now that's kind of weird. Then it goes further to say, there's always another one coming. So if you're at concept stage, you don't even have a company, a business name or a company name yet, you haven't taken that step, you're still thinking, it just comes and goes, it just flashes, that idea flashes. Or maybe you've started and then you hung it because you're kind of frustrated. Maybe it's already Maybe it's already rolling. Maybe you're already seeing success. Whatever stage you're at, please know that business opportunities will always come. If you even started and you failed, catch the next bus. It's coming. The question, however, is, are you ready when the next bus gets to the bus stop? Are you set? Don't be at the bus stop without preparation. Because when the bus gets to the bus stop, it's not going to wait. It's going to pick those who are ready and it's going to get going, right? So business opportunities will always come. If you've started a business venture and it failed, or it's slow, or you're stuck, get up and go again. There's another opportunity. Get going. You will succeed. If you're still thinking about it, that bus is coming. Get yourself together. Put all the skill set and everything that you need, your toolbox, get it together and catch that next bus. And if you're already experiencing success, take it to the next level. The next bus for your next level is on the way. Make sure that you're ready to jump on that bus. All right. So we've talked about everything. Getting that product and service ready and all that, catching the next bus, jumping on the next opportunity. How do I find that a lot of people are stuck at this bus stop. How do I find my first client? And I have the idea. I don't even know, where am I going to get the client from? Okay. Here's the approach I always use, and I teach this approach to people. When I'm starting a fresh business venture, my friends and family know me. They've suffered in my hands. You must be my loyalists. That's why you are my family. You will support me, like it or not. So start off with those around you, right? Family, those should be the people cheering you on. They have to support you. They owe it to you. Right? So start off with family. And I'm not saying every family member is going to support you, but start off from within. Start with your family. That's the first motivation. Those are the guys that will first motivate you and oil your business and get you going. So family, look among your friends, make noise. Guys, I've started. Oh, I need support. Don't be ashamed. The biggest taboo that a retailer can have is pride. It is forbidden for the success of your business, for you to exhibit pride as a retailer. Remember that I said that the difference between a retailer and a wholesaler is a wholesaler can have 2 clients and they're in their millions. As a retailer, you cannot. You're constantly looking for the next client, right? So no pride. Your family, your friends, tap into that group. They have to support you. Then the next group you're going to look at, pull out your mobile phone and get a diary and a pen. I do this manually. I'm very, very analog. I will get a diary and a pen. I will begin to write out who are the people that can buy this thing. I will write the names out. Then I will create a custom text message or a chat or whatever. And then I'll begin to fire everybody. Of course, some of them will call me and say, Yiwola, you've started again. Yes, I've started again. I've come again. And you must support me. You have to help me, right? So your mobile phone contacts, make use of it. It's very, very important that you make use of it because that's low-hanging fruit for you, right? The next thing that you're going to do, and you're probably already practicing this with family and friends, is word of mouth. That's the fastest route. Word of mouth. Everywhere you go. Guys, I do this. Guys, I sell this. Guys, I can help you with this. That's the fastest way to get your business out there. Word of mouth. And it's going to take a lot of work and motivation. When you get up in the morning every day, task yourself. Don't just go out there, especially for those who don't work remotely. For some reason, you're out and about. You have an advantage. Don't be quiet and don't be ashamed. When you start cleaning out and your bank account starts to shake, you'll look back at those days of hustle and you'll be grateful to God, right? So you have to be the first person making noise about your business via word of mouth. Now let's talk about the very next. So we found our first client. Maybe it was your sister, maybe it was family, maybe it was friends, whoever that was. You found first client. How do we go from client 1 to how do we make one client 5 and 5 clients 15, right? How do we go to the next level? The very first thing that I always mention is low-hanging fruits. Who are your low-hanging fruits? Who are the people in your network there? It's easy to reach them. It's easy to access them. They are a group that you can access really quickly. Low-hanging fruits for you could be colleagues at work. Low-hanging fruits for you could be maybe you're in some kind of Black, just like in the group that brought us together here tonight. Maybe you're in some kind of group, Black people's movement, some kind of Black people's group, or some kind of church group, or something. Maybe it's your church, your place of worship. It is always a group of people, and they're your low-hanging fruits because it's easy. You have access to those numbers, those people, and just with one chat or one message, you can reach them all. Use that group. That's a huge, huge tool. Your next set of clients are going to come from your low-hanging fruits. When I do real estate, like I said, I'm a salesperson for a real estate group. When I do real estate, they ask me, my boss asked me, why are you always why are you always dealing with Black people? Why are you always talking to Black people? I'm like, because that's my low-hanging fruits. Because they understand my language, because they're just like me. They identify with me. That is my low-hanging fruit. I'm going to take advantage of that. Before I go and talk to an Indian or a Caucasian, I'm going to talk to my Black sister or my Black brother, because it's easy for me to say, Ross, Alpha, see what I can help you with, right? They can relate with me easily, right? The barriers are very slim because I belong to that group, right? So low-hanging fruits, take advantage of your low-hanging fruits. And then I'm sure you're wondering, what is this? What is this? And it says there are clues and prospects around you. Many years ago, I'll tell you a quick story. Many years ago, when I worked at the bank, and I was a relationship manager, and I had to train account officers on my team, and they'll be clueless about where the next client's going to come from. So I'll take a drive with them. And while we're driving, I'll ask them, what can you see? As we're driving along the road, what are you seeing? I want you to pen down, put it on paper. What are you seeing? By the time we're done with this drive, I want to see all the names that you put out. Every single signpost gives you a clue. Every signpost should speak to you. Be observant when you're driving. Don't just drive. As a business person and a retailer, constantly you are seeking where your cash is coming from next. So you have to be very observant. Don't just drive. Notice everything and attach cash. People call me, I'm a Yoruba woman, but people call me Nkechi. They say I love money. I do. Because I attach money to every single thing. So I'm looking at a signpost and I'm thinking about, who's this person? Who's this business? How can I connect with this business? Can I provide something that this business needs? Right? So let every signpost speak to you. So you're an insurance advisor and you run your own business and you're looking at this signpost and it shows a company and you're not thinking about, okay, how many employees does this person have? Can I go speak to this person? Or you're looking at a school or a hospital or some kind of business place and you're not thinking about their staff. You're not thinking about you have to attach money or value to every single thing. So when you're looking at those signposts, don't just look at them. Look inwards to what you provide in terms of service and product and try to see if you can sell something to that other business or that individual. So from today, let every signpost speak to you. All right. Now, the very biggest route from where your clientele base will blow up is referrals. That's the biggest thing. Every client, make this a tradition. For every person who patronizes you, even if they don't patronize you, but you spoke to them about your business or your offerings, demand referrals. and you'll do it nicely. But demand, let it become a culture. Demand referrals, because the referrals is what's going to take you from client 1 to client 5 and make 5 customers become 15 and 15 become 60. It's the referrals. Now, does it mean that every referral will translate to business? Maybe not. Maybe not. But guess what? If TT gives me 5 referrals and I reach out to all 5 referrals, maybe I get to speak with 3. No matter what, 1 or 2 of them are going to give me business. It's very likely, right? And then I'll continue to expand on that. Before I know it, my clientele base has blown up. Referrals are very key for any kind of business in this world. Referrals are very key. That's what's going to take you to the next level. That's what's going to sustain your success as a retailer. All right. Again, back to the comparison between a retailer and a wholesaler. A wholesaler does not necessarily need referrals. They don't necessarily need referrals. Sometimes they even have too many clients who they now put on a wait list because they've exhausted their products, right? So a wholesaler is not operating like you. For you, you're constantly running the race and you can't stop. All right. I mean, there's times when some businesses peak and they're doing well for ages, but most likely as a retailer, you will constantly need to oil that business for it to stay successful. Okay, so let's talk client identification strategies. We've talked about how do we find that client. Let's use word of mouth. Let's use referrals. Every signpost makes sense. Ladies, every time you go out and you have random interactions, random. So you go grocery shopping and for some reason, you go to the customer service desk and you get chatting with, please talk about your business. For every random interaction, it's good. At some point, you'll think you're going crazy. But at that point where you think you're going crazy, that's when you know you're doing something right. For every random interaction, talk about your business, exchange your card, let them know what you do and what you can provide. Social media ads and posts, I can't overemphasize on that. It's so important in 2023. Have social media presence because you can reach the world via social media. There's no barriers to location when you use social media. So use it, utilize it, reach out to thousands of people just with one post. Why will you not do that? Isn't that easier than having to reach them one-to-one? So take advantage of it. Make sure that your business has online presence. Oil that presence, oil it. It's going to be a pain. It's going to be stressful initially, but honestly, you will see growth, right? So social media ads and posts, very, very important. Referrals. I just talked about that. Referrals. Your clientele base will blow up via referral strategy. See dollars in every conversation. Don't just gist for gisting's sake. Please don't do that. It doesn't matter how close you are to that person. Talk about your business every time. If you just for 20 minutes, slide in your business. Hey, what's going on? You haven't bought my product. What's going on? You're supposed to be my friend. What's going on? Support me. Or if you're not going to support me, okay, can you give me referrals? Who do you know that can support my business? Make sure that because guess what? If that person you're talking to is not your client in that moment, they can become your client 2 months down the line. Or they know somebody who's going to be your client. Until you speak up, you're not going to get that connect. Right? So don't just talk, don't just have conversation every conversation has the potential to produce money. Have that at the back of your mind from today. Every single conversation has the potential to produce money. All right? Okay, and then network and community. I used to be that person who came out here to Canada and said, oh, no, I just want to be in my corner. I just want to mind my business. I don't really want to mingle. But I paid dearly for that. My business paid dearly for that, right? And then when I decided, you know what, Black people are my low-hanging fruit. The earlier I embraced my people and reached out, the better for me. The minute I did that, my business took a different turn. And I started, in fact, lately I've started to become overwhelmed by the love and support. People who can identify with you, whether it's via race, religion, whatever, something brings you guys together and groups puts you in the same group, they are more likely to support you, whether or not they even need that product or service. Right? Oh, I have a cleaning business. Oh, really? Well, I clean my house every day, but you know what? I'm gonna, just for the sake of, I just want to support you. So come in. Right? I recently chose, like I said, I chose to put my money in Black people's hands first. And so when I'm thinking cleaning, I actually contracted to a Jamaican sister cleaning services. I said to her, I'm going to give you that business. And she was wondering why. I said, because I'll put my money in a Black sister's hand, right? We have to get intentional, build that network, get into the groups. If you're in church, if you are blessed to be a member of a religious institution, maybe a church or a mosque or whatever, that has a lot of people that are like you, and I'm talking Black sisters and brothers, take advantage of it. Don't just wear nice clothes and go to church and sit down and hear the sermon and go home when you've got a business that needs tending to. Speak, reach out, talk to people. Ask your friends, guys, what Black groups are you in? Please, can I get into those WhatsApp groups or whatever groups, right? I need to be a part of a network because that network is going to help me grow my business. Now, while you're doing all these different things, applying all these different things, random interactions, referrals, this and that, you're gradually going to be building your own community of clients. And so come back every now and again and appraise your community. The community that you've built as attached to your business, appraise it from time to time. How many people have this year, how many clients, how many different clients? I'm not talking about repeat business, but how many different clients have I been able to reach? How far has my clientele base grown? Appraise yourself and see your growth and celebrate yourself when you see growth too. So speaking about growth, how do we maintain growth as retailers? I just talked about network. Service your network is very important. So somebody buys something from you and they go. Take the pain to text them after they leave you to say, thank you so much for choosing to support my business. I appreciate it. We hope to see you soon. Take the pain to service your network. Be in their face. And that's the first thing that's there. Constantly be in their faces via ads, via posts, messages, phone calls, drop-bys. If you have the chance and the energy to do drop by sometimes. Drop by their own business and say, hi, how's it going? I just dropped by to say hello and just to let you know that we're still here. We haven't heard from you in a long time, right? Be intentional about networking and reaching out in person and virtually. That's the only way you're going to grow. Practice excellent customer service relations. That might be your selling point. That might be the one thing that distinguishes you from that competition that you have. There's nothing that feels as good as expending your money on a product or service and feeling like you were treated well, especially by the owner of the business, right? So practice excellence. If you want to feel good that way when you expend money, that's exactly how you should treat your clients because they want to feel that way too. And that's what's going to ensure that you get repeat business and that you get them marketing on your behalf and you didn't pay them. So they'll go running and doing word of mouth on your behalf without you paying them. And then those referrals will come easily. Pride is a retailer's taboo. It doesn't matter what stage you're at. Even if you've peaked and you're successful, don't. It's a no. The minute, and it smells, it has a bad odor. Pride has a bad odor. The minute your clients can tell that you have suddenly become too big, you start to lose clients. And it'll show in your attitude. It'll show in your customer service delivery. You cannot afford to feel that you've suddenly become too big. As a retailer, you can't. A wholesaler can do that. You can't do it as a retailer. So stay away from pride, right? Humility is very key for a retailer. You have to be at ground level with your clientele because they can tell. Offer promotions, deals, and discounts from time to time. Fine-tune it every now and again. Oh, we're doing media sales, doing Christmas sales, buy one, get one free, refer and earn. Like, switch it up every now and again. People love stuff that looks like freebies, even if it's not free. But that's the only thing that's going to catch their attention, though. They want to know that, oh, okay, as against $50, I can buy it for $45. All right, I'm going to give it a shot. Right? So promotions every now and that's what's going to keep you in their faces. Because they see that person like, Yiwola has come again. She wants to collect my money. Okay, but what's she doing this time? Oh, really? I can buy one and get one free. Okay, let's try. Right? So always have something fresh for them in terms of promotions, deals, and discounts. It will take your business to another level. Again, it will get them talking on your behalf. Hey, because they'll call their friends and say, hey, so person is doing discounts. Let's go there. Right? Appraisals. I like to tell people to do this, especially business people. Do quarterly appraisals. Do half-year appraisals. Do annual appraisals. It keeps you on track. It helps you know if you're doing something right or not. It helps you to identify growth or otherwise. It also helps you to fix whatever needs to be fixed, right? Because in doing appraisals, you'll practice seeking feedback. And when you get feedback as a retail business owner, please accept it even when it's negative. Even when the person might be over, I don't know, right? Like if when it's wrong, even when you know it's wrong, nicely and politely thank them. Look inwards and ask yourself, what did I probably do wrong? What is going on with my product or service that warranted this? There'll be one-off situations where the client is just being difficult, right? Or the client is exhibiting some kind of frustration that has nothing to do with you. Yes, there will be those kind of situations. But when you get feedback, generally, please accept it because it allows you to make adjustments and correct or fine-tune your product and service and come back with a better service or product, right? Don't be afraid of failure. Appraisals allow you to look yourself in the mirror and say, I've messed up. Because when you can look yourself in the mirror and say that and accept it, then you can find solutions so that you can forge ahead. Be conscious of your image. Because your image, it drives growth, right? It drives growth. Be conscious of your image. Rebrand as often as possible. Clients love to see something different. They love to see something. For them, it shows that you're growing and they want to be a part of that. Be innovative and fresh. Always switch things up, right? They just love that. They want to see that you're growing, right? Stay ahead of the pack or at least at par. So in your industry, what's the update? What is going on? What's new? Don't be still because your clients are aware. They know what's new in your industry. So what's going to set you apart? If you're 5 years behind, even a year, sometimes if you're a year behind, especially for those in IT or service industries, if you're a year behind, they can tell. Even a few months behind, they know. So be ahead of your pack if possible, or at least be at par. So you don't put yourself in an embarrassing situation where your client is the one giving you updates, right? Request for reviews. Reviews help you grow, even when they're negative. right? I love it when I contract to chefs, Nigerian or African chefs, and then they ask me for reviews. And they'll even they'll call me personally and say, please, I want to know, was it too salty? Was it tasty? Was it too hot? Please, we want to know so we know how we can do better and serve you better. It excites me. It makes me feel like I got value for my money, right? So request for reviews, be intentional. When I dress people up, I actually always politely ask them to send me a photo of themselves when they actually wear the outfit. And I ask them for permission to celebrate them publicly because it gives me so much joy. See the transformation, right? Follow your balance sheet and profit and loss statements closely. Whatever that, I'm not here to talk about numbers, but whatever that looks like for you, follow it closely. So you're not just operating and making a loss without knowing, right? Follow it closely so you know where you're doing too much expense and where you can cut down on expense. You know where your money is going and where your money is coming from. You know where the adjustments need to be made, right? So follow it closely. Reward yourself and your clients when you experience success. Do it. Let them join in your celebration, but celebrate. It's a positive vibe, and it makes clients want to identify with you. Reward yourself and your clients. End of year, reward them, right? Quarterly, reward. Look for the clients who purchased or did the highest purchases. Reward them, and rewarding them it might not be material. It could be an email, a thank you email. Celebrate them and celebrate yourself, but do it publicly so people can see the growth. All right, so we're coming to the end of tonight's webinar, and I'm going to leave you with this, my dearest sisters. Wake up with the purpose. Sometimes it's difficult to be motivated when you get up in the morning, but guess what? When you have a business concept that needs to come alive, you have to find purpose. If you have to write it out on paper and paste it on your wall so that when you open your eyes, you're seeing it every day, do that. If there's somebody like a mentor that's going to support you, and all you need to do is to tell them, can you send me a text every day? Or check in with me every day to just motivate me and ask me, where am I at on this plan? Do it. Wake up with a purpose. Push yourself. Be intentional. As a retailer, you have to do it. It's going to cause you pain initially, but be intentional. That's the only time you're going to see growth. Push yourself. You have to be your own hype woman or hype man. A hype man is chanting praise of somebody else. Okay, so when you talk about hype man, it's somebody else who's chanting your praise. But in this instance, I'm asking you to be your own hype woman. I have a friend who, every time I speak to him, he's like, is that what you told yourself this morning when you woke up? So maybe I'm praising myself. Like, is that what you told? I'm like, yes. I told myself that I'm a badass. I told myself that I'm fantastic. I'm too much. Right? That's the only way. You have to hype yourself. You have to see the value and the beauty in yourself first before somebody else will see it. Hype yourself. Don't wait for other people to hype you. Hype yourself and motivate yourself. It's going to get you going. Even when you fall, pick yourself up, hype yourself, and get going again. Take the lessons when you fall, adjust, and hit the tracks again. You're not in competition. As much as you have competition in the market, but you're in your own lane. Remember that we talked about something that said that the opportunities come like buses. The next bus is coming. So pick yourself up and catch the next bus because it's coming. Right? And your own success will come if only you jump on that next bus. Seek feedback and accept it. And lastly, if nobody ever told you, I'm telling you tonight that you can do it. It doesn't matter that you're on Canadian soil, you're far away from your home country, things are different here. Get the skill set, get your toolbox together, jump on that bus. You can do it. All right, so we've come to the end of tonight's webinar, and I hope that you learned a thing or two. We're like 2 minutes over the time. But I hope that I left you this evening with some wisdom. My email and phone number are there. You can go through, if you have questions or you need support, you can go through the convenience of tonight's webinar to reach out to me. I'll be very happy. I love my Black people. I am a loyalist to Black people. So yeah, reach out to me if you need motivation. I will be your hype man. I'm pledging my support. Yes, you can do it. Yes, you can. Push yourself. Canada is waiting for you. We are less than 40 million people. If in Nigeria, where we're over 300 million, you tell yourself that you can do it, or whatever country you're from, you tell yourself that you can do it. Can you imagine the potential sitting on Canadian soil where we are less than 40 million? And you are ahead of them. So Canada are open, and hundreds of thousands of people are coming in every day. You're ahead of the pack because you're already sitting on Canadian soil. Get up on your feet. Canada has been waiting for you. You will succeed. So we're done tonight. I hope that we have been able to support each other tonight with some motivation. Like I said, please, before you put your money in any other race's hands, find a Black sister or brother who can give you that product or service. Take the pain, even if it's going to cost you more. Put your money in their hands so that somebody can do the reverse and put their own money in your hands too. Let's build our economy. We can do it. Have a beautiful evening, ladies. God bless you.
Okay, hold on, sis, before you go. One